special guest speaker with us today, Mari Tinkkanen. She is a Vasa Concept therapist and supervisor from Finland. She also works as a research organizer on Vasa Concept Global Association. She has been in the field of rehabilitation for 13 years. She is trained in Finland with the traditional approach and use of most modern high-tech devices for support and balance of brain injured patients. Finland is a very rich modern country and ranks very high in healthcare of its people. She has a unique strength to explore for more possibilities, to give the best and do the best for her Finnish patients. This unique attitude and strength to do the best for her patients made her get to know about the Vasa concept from an article in the Finnish newspaper, and she decided to attend the workshop by Dr. Rajul Vasa. Mari's journey began from 2015 to become the Vasa concept practitioner when she saw that the patient's gait improved without gait training and upper limb improved in just 1 week. Spasticity disappeared and fingers, wrist moved many years after stroke. Vasa concept puts the patients with brain damage on road to true recovery by restoring the lost motor control. Today, the Vasa concept is being practiced in India and many countries across the globe. Mari now wants to give amazing results with Vasa concept to all the patients of the world.
Yeah. Hi, Dr. Janvi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, very fine. Good evening. Yeah, please, ma'am.
Sure. Good evening. Shall we? Yeah. Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good evening to all. Welcome to second day of faculty development program on science of rehabilitation, organized by Department of Physical Education, Oro University, and Spinex Global. On first day, we received good response from all the participants, and we look forward to have your active participation throughout the 7 days. On day one, Dr. Mari talked about Vasa concept, and today also she will share very important aspects of Vasa concept. Before I invite subject expert to start the session, I would like to share few things with our participants that we have received a few queries yesterday regarding a screenshot. So, dear participants, you have to share JPG or PNG file of screenshot, so you are able to add your screenshot in the feedback form. So now, not taking much time, and I would like to invite Dr. Mary to start the presentation. Dr. Mary.
Good evening for everyone.
Hello, Dr. Mary.
Hello.
Yeah, please.
Hey, thank you from everyone that you joined us yesterday, and today is nice to continue. So, before we start, I would like to say thank you once again. Thank you for Spinex Global and Dr. DRNIRAJBHANSALI for arranging everything. And thank you to my teacher, Dr. Rajul Vasa, from all the things that she has taught me. And today we are continuing where we left yesterday. And the question is, why Vasa concept is so wanted in Finland, even we are so high-tech country? And if you want to learn more about Vasa concept, it is important to know when you have a possibility to learn more. So please join our email list, and you can find our email list from here, vasaconcept.fi and English front page. It is looking like this, and only by joining our email list you are able to get the checklist from this webinar. So I hope that you are joining there quite soon. because the checklist is only available on limited time. And other channels to stay on tune and to know the opportunities to learn more is that you follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And by us, I mean Rajul Vasa Foundation and Vasa Concept Global. And also, it's good that if you are checking the websites, that what is happening and when. You can take also a picture from this slide that you can easily find us later on. And if you have some questions after this webinar, you can send those questions through social media. I have had yesterday also some questions and I'm answering those today. And during this webinar, please use the chat group. And the first questions which I have in the through social media was that can I do thesis about Vasa Concept? And I would like to say that this is a very good idea. Absolutely, you can do. And Dr. Vasa can mentor you, and we can mentor you from Finland. And of course, you will have your own mentor from your own university. And by reading the Vasa Concept ebook, which you can find from brainstrokes.com page, you will get plenty ideas for your thesis. Ideas and titles are endless with Vasa Concept. We are also open for all kind of research collaboration with universities and hospitals or some other places. In Finland, we are research-oriented and we have a good research team. The head of our research team is a doctor of neuropsychology. So we are ready to do researches about Vasa Concept and how Vasa Concept affects on speech and neuropsychological skills, and of course balance and movements in lower and upper limbs. But we are ready when you are ready. Just keep in touch. And I did the slide from these questions, so we don't need to go through the same questions today. So is the Vasa Concept good for degenerating diseases? And for those, Dr. Vasa recommends to enjoy life king size and eat medicines, but this might change from country to country. And I would like to remind you that when you have learned to do Vasa Concept as a therapist, you can use Vasa Concept postures and exercises for improving balance, reducing spasticity, and releasing contractures in therapy sessions. Every time when you think that is best for your client, you just need to think what is good amount of exercises for your patient. If your patient has degenerating disease, they need to have time to enjoy their life. You need to think the whole picture. But on these lectures, we are concentrating on stroke patients. And yesterday, we had also a question that is Vasa Concept good for PNS and is it good for polio patients? And the answer is same for both of those. That with Vasa Concept postures and exercises, you can release contractures. And once again, the same reminder. And through social media, we had the question that is Vasa Concept good for Guillain Barre patients? And Dr. Vasa recommends Guillain Barre patients to do Vasa Concept. But today we are concentrating on stroke patients. Yeah, and then when we recommend to do Vasa Concept, like I said yesterday, that we recommend Vasa Concept always when there have been brain injury, like CP, stroke, or TBI, and TBI meant traumatic brain injury. And also when patients have had spinal cord injury. And you can start to do Vasa Concept from hospital bed after the stroke or injury, or on chronic stroke state. The important is that you start. And what is Vasa Concept? I try to answer this in a short form. Vasa Concept is a revolutionary concept for rehabilitating brain injury patients. And I would like to remind you that this is concept, not a method. And you can see the difference when you have read these sentences. And by reading those sentences, you will understand that the learning is a longer process than learning a method. So now I give you some sentences to describe Vasa Concept, and stop for a moment and think, can you understand the whole point of these sentences? First one is, Vasa Concept is to expand the boundaries of center of mass movement on the paratic side of the spine. Maybe I take that second time. Think. Did you get everything what this means? Vasa Concept is to expand the boundaries of the center of mass movement on the paratic side of the spine. Because inside of these sentences is so much theory that it takes time to learn everything. I'm checking the chat in the meanwhile. That is someone saying something here on between. Okay, not yet, but let's see the second. Is there a connection between increased degrees of freedom from flaccidity and development of abnormal synergy grouping, passive tissue contracture, and spasticity following stroke? And this is the first page from Vasa Concept ebook. So I hope that everyone will find the ebook. So you will learn so much more by reading it. And you can find the ebook from brainstrokes.com. So now we are learning the concept, and after you have learned to think out of the box, and after you have experienced Vasa Concept postures and exercises on your own body and then on the patient's bodies, and you have seen the results. After those, you are ready for Vasa Concept theory courses. Learning to do Vasa Concept is easy, but learning to understand the whole concept takes time. And by this, I mean that learning to do Vasa Concept is easy is the postures and exercises. They are easy because you can also tell the family how to do it. But as a therapist, you need to learn to understand the whole concept, and that takes time. But after this all, you will understand those sentences that I just showed you. Okay. And I have one question for you. Did you do your walking homework? Yesterday, I asked you to do a homework, walk like a hemiplegic patient to 5 to 10 minutes. I would like to hear now that have you start this Vasa Concept journey also with your own body? And if you have started to do this with your own body, how is your body feeling today? I hope that you will answer something on the chat box. And I will hear how is your body feeling today. But this homework is so important for your own learning. And every time when you have a new patient, walk like the patient is walking. And you will have so much important information about the patient. And learn to use your own body as a research field. That's a free tool to use. I would like to hear that someone is using this and saying something about how they are feeling. Because if you have done this exercise yesterday, you will feel it in your body today. Okay, but we will get back to it. Then a little bit about yesterday. Yesterday we started to think out of the box. And the first one was think of today and compare it to history. That is where we started. And the results were the things that need to change. We need to get better results today than 100 years ago. And second one was experience with your own body. And that was the reason for your homework. And last, we were thinking behind the action. We were thinking behind the action and skills and even behind the abilities. Because Vasa Concept is fixing the roots. And then we go into today's material. And today we start about thinking the money. Because we need to have more results with less money. And we need to do this in all over the world. Here is Finland's rehabilitation system. Actually, Finland's rehabilitation system is not as simple as this picture is. But this is for that reason then that I am able to get you some picture that why we need to think about taxpayers' money. Because in Finland, almost all the rehabilitation comes from taxpayers' money. So first, we are taking care of the acute phase. And in Finland, we are very good at this acute care. And then patients goes to hospital rehabilitation unit or they are going to private rehabilitation unit. But usually it comes from taxpayers' money also when they are going in private rehabilitation units. And after those places, they are continuing home with home care. And usually in home rehabilitation, it's 1 or 2 times per week. But if the patient is not in good enough shape, then they are going to live in a unit where they can take care of him or her. There's nurses all the time. They are like nursing homes, but they have different names in every countries. And when they are with this home rehabilitation state, a social insurance institution, which is taxpayers are owning that place, or some other money from taxpayers are paying the rehabilitation, and the rehabilitation happens on hospital or healthcare units or in the private sectors. And when a patient is not working in Finland, they are getting sickness and rehabilitation allowance, and we taxpayers are paying all of this. And if you remember from the yesterday, we have less taxpayers than people who are using the taxpayers' money. So this is something what we really need to focus on Finland, and I think in the whole Europe. Finland is not the only country where we have aging people. And then we have the question, how much this costs? In Finland's social insurance institution, which is the place that taxpayers are paying everything in there, is paying 190 million euros for rehabilitation for under 65 years old patients in every year. And this includes only 28,000 patients. And it means 6,786 euros per patient per year. And this is big amount of money also in Finland. So taxpayers are paying the rehabilitation and transportation to the rehabilitation center and rehabilitation money for living, and sometimes also housing benefit and salary for personal assistant. I love Finland because in Finland we take care of everyone but it costs a lot for taxpayers. And if we have opportunity to do something different, then it's time to do something different. And we need to also think how many years patient is living. If the patient is using like 6,000 euro per year and a patient is living like 50 years or 40 years, it's a big amount of money. And I'm in that we are taking care of everyone. But if we have opportunity to do something different, then we really need to think this one. But this last question is even more important after this COVID-19 time. I think that the COVID-19 has effect also in India. But after this, do we have money for this? How long we can continue like this? To pay everyone's rehabilitation and personal assistant for rest of their lives. Of course, we need to pay rehabilitation and personal assistance that people are getting better. And of course, we are paying it if there's a sickness that we cannot help. But if we have the opportunity. But next, I'm showing you a video, and I hope that when we are watching this video, you are writing on a paper or in the chat the rehabilitation results that you see that this boy have had. So write on the chat or into paper the rehabilitation results that you see that this boy have had. And here comes the video. So Juuso had car accident in 2012. And this was in 2060 after 4 years of traditional rehabilitation. Yesterday you were asking that what is the difference between traditional and this. And from this video you can see how the results are different. And now Juuso can stand on his own and go at the floor by himself. At the beginning in 2016, even the sitting balance was poor. And with Vasa Concept, you can see how good the balance is now on knee standing and pelvis movements. I hope that you try these exercises also on your own, what you see on the video. You will learn a lot by doing this. And then go back in the beginning in year 2060 and users all the movements were so robotic and it was hard to push the limbs against the ground. And with Vasa Concept, check the difference. There's so much more quality in that movement. And user can do also this bear walk or camel walk. and also in soft surface. And you really can do Vasa Concept exercises also outside. You don't need to be inside all the time. And this is maybe the first star that Juuso has done on his own. And you think also that knee walking or walking, on which exercise patient is using more the paretic side of the body. And walking is so close, and only by doing the Vasa Concept these last 4 years. So now we have seen the results that Juuso have had before Vasa Concept. There was 4 years before Vasa Concept and 4 years after with Vasa Concept. And write down all the results that you saw. And then we are doing a little bit of counting. I'm checking the chat that are you writing somewhere something in here? It would be nice if you write there what you have noticed from this video. And I would like to remind everyone from Finland who are joining this that you can write also in Finnish. That is totally okay. We are having here a little bit rainy and thunderstorm. I hope that it doesn't affect on this. And everything is working. For some reason the chat is not now moving in here. I don't know why. But we continue somehow. But this is what I hope that you are now counting. So Juuso did 4 years traditional physiotherapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, and he had assistant. And now think what were the results versus money and time. And if Juuso would continue like this to next 40 to 50 years. He is a young man, and with TBI, he could easily live like 40 to 60 years. And think about also Juuso's dreams. What is the difference in those? And Juuso has done now 4 years Vasa Concept with PT, OT, and assistant. And what is now the results versus money and time? I do something on this chat that I will see what you are writing, because it would be much more nicer if I would see what is happening in here. And in the meantime, when I am trying to get this chat to work also for me, I hope that you write there more and more text. And now I'm seeing the chat finally. And people are saying who they are. Are they saying something about... they are writing there that good proprioception, good proximal stability, good balance. Core stability, postural control, coordination, muscle strength, proper weight bearing. Very good. That's very good what you have written in here. Balance on forelimbs, core stability, pelvis stability, muscular strength improved. Of affected side, gait improved, trunk balance, sitting balance improved, side core strength improved. Good, just write more. So, in first 4 years, when Juuso was doing traditional rehabilitation, and also that time therapist has done the best what they can do. And in first 4 years, Juuso when we are seeing only the motoric side, because now we cannot know the other side, but from the motoric side, Juuso almost learned to sit and was able to crawl a couple of meters. That was the results from the first year, what we can see from the mini video. And then if we are thinking it was 4 years and those are the results. And how much we were using money in those first 4 years. And when we are thinking these last 4 years with Vasa Concept, and you have noticed very good stuff in there. But if we add there that now Juuso has good sitting balance, Juuso can crawl long times, it looked so much easier. It was so much better quality in the crawling. And Juuso was also able to do bear or camel walking, so you can imagine how much better the balance is today. And Juuso is able to do knee walking and a couple of steps without any support. So you can only imagine what this means for everyday actions. So everything is easier. And that is true when you are writing there that now Juuso is out of wheelchair. He can do so much more without the wheelchair now. But if you think these last 4 years, all the results, what I ask you to think, and results, what you have written in there, and then you think about the money and time. And I would like that you answer on the chat that which one you will choose for your own child. That how many will choose and which results. And with you, so I can say that it is not about repeating. He has done always a lots and lots of exercises. It's about what you are repeating. Good. Many of you are choosing the Vasa concept. After thinking about the money, and we need to think about money in this world state, it is good to get back with the brains, because we are taking care of the brain injury patients. So, what is the most important work for the brain itself? Can you guess what might be the most important work for the brain itself? I think that you are guessing there's something. And for the brain, it is the most important thing to stay alive, to stay safe. Good, you are guessing there. Maybe the thinking. Yeah, without thinking, nothing happens. Protect COM. Good. Function. Very good what you are writing there. But today, I think that I'm saying that the most important work for the brain itself is to stay alive, to stay safe and not fall down. Because if we are falling down, what happens to the brains? If brain is not working, nothing is not working. That's why we need to always keep our brains safe. And that is the most important thing for the brain, to stay alive. And here is the picture from Vasa Concept. So in the up there, you can see the normal body. And you can see that the COM is in the middle of the body. But when the patient is having a stroke, then we are going on the right side of this circle. And the first in there, all postural control taken over by the good side, all voluntary actions with good side. Good side compensates the all time. Affected side is compromised all the time. So, the COM gets arrested in safe territory for safety reasons. And of course, the better side of the body is taking care of the COM because you cannot trust the paralytic side of the body. Because you might fall down. Doesn't it make sense that the better side of the body takes care of the COM and the paralytic side of the body is coming follower? So the paralytic side develops abnormal movement. I think that everyone has seen this. Abnormal movements are attempts of the brain to restrict COM movement. And it needs to be restricted because you cannot trust the paralytic side of the body. You may fall down. Remember, the main thing in brain is to stay alive. And affected side is used to put a brake on fluid chains in movement of COM. So the COM stays in the better side of the body. So the COM comes like a prisoner, and compensation makes recovery from stroke more difficult. So that's why it is important if we can start to do Vasa Concept from the day one. So because of all of these, the affected side of the body becomes a follower, and the good side is leading constantly. But by doing the Vasa Concept, you can change this whole picture. But before we are going into that, I would like to know that have you thought about COM before on hemiplegic patients? And how much the COM is affecting to everything. And COM was the center of mass. And when you start to do the Vasa Concept, you introduce control on posture using affected limbs. You expand boundaries of COM towards the affected side. Affected limbs begin to control posture and restore COM safety. So the brain has ability to trust to the paratic side of the body. So when the brain is trusting for the both sides of the body, COM is no longer prisoner of good side. Weak side gets strong and can restore COM automatically. And then we have automatic exchange of dominance between two sides, and it is possible. And if this picture is too small for you, you can find this picture also from internet. And you will learn more when you're watching that many times and you are thinking this when you are seeing your patient. There's someone in the chat asking that is this COM? Yeah, this really is COM of the body, center of mass of the body. And now we are getting back to the walking exercises. So, how the hemi-walking helps the patient to walk in the right way? If on those exercises the better side is leading and the hemiplegic side is following. So if you continue doing that, leading and following, how you are able to find the medium balance in there. So when you want to find and help the patient to take over the whole body, you need to do this whole thing. The affected limbs needs to control posture and restore COM safety. And here in the center you can read that Vasa concept is to expand the boundaries of COM, center of mass. And because we were talking about safety of the brain, we really need to also talk about fear of falling and why there is fear of falling. At least in Finland, we are putting patients back to home after a stroke as soon as possible. And when they are home as soon as possible, it affects that walking and transitions from wheelchair to bed might be poor. And for that reason, there might be lots of fallings. At least in Finland, fallings are a big problem. I would like to hear, is this happening also in India? And how much this is stress for family members? I know many family members who are all the time trying to take care of the patients that don't fall down. I'm here to help you. Can I help you somehow? And when there is the fear of falling also to the spouse or some other family member, it is not good because we are also affecting the health of this spouse or family member. And we need to have only the one patient. And stress cannot make the another patient in that family. So we really need to take attention to this fear of falling. And the question is, do we have an opportunity to rehabilitate without fear of falling? And I will say that we have, but before, let's think how the fear of falling is developing. If patient walks before the whole body is ready to walk, it will look like this, like in this video. And how much there might be fear of falling because the other side of the body cannot take control if you lose your balance. Just watch it. If you would fall down, if something on the system is not working, you will fall down and you will lose your balance. And that is how you create the fear of falling. You are in too high position before you are ready for it. And I just want to ask that why we are exercising walking before we are even able to be on knee standing or something else. When you start to do exercises over the bed or at the floor, there will not be a fear of falling. You can always decide how you are doing the exercises. The reason for fear of falling is that when you are too high and you are not prepared for it, So make sure that your patient is ready for that posture that you are putting the patient. And in how many ways using the brain, body, and gravity will increase possibilities to walk, go back to work, earn money, and pay taxes. And here you can see the video. They have done the Vasa Concept with this man. And little bit think about the money. Think about if the man would be like that. And there's only 1 year in between these two. And check the left hand now. In 1 year. And everything is different. And now he is able to do stuff independently. So, in how many ways using brain, body, and gravity will save money and there is no fear of falling. And there's someone asking that when we start to do gait training, I would like to answer here in middle that you don't need to start to do gait training when you do the patient ready for walking. The patient is walking when he or she is ready for walking. You don't need to exercise the gait. And this is also a little bit close to the fear of falling. But now think, machine or devices or exercise, which one would you choose? And first, we have standing machine. And at first, I want to ask that have you stand on a standing machine? Do you know how it feels like? Do you know how good support is the standing machine? So when you or the patient is on the standing machine, you can lean on it. You don't need to do much work. The machine is so good. And the standing machine is taking care about the center of mass. And because of the standing machine is taking care of the center of mass, I am asking that what the brain is learning. And also why we need to rush to stand. The all lower positions has significant meaning for our COM, center of mass, and learning skills. If a normal child is crawling before standing, why we are putting our GB children and stroke adults to stand before they have learned to be on knee standing? Or crawl or something. I think that it is good if we are all also in the lower positions. There's no rush. The quality of the standing is much better and it's automatic if you use your time in lower positions. So, do you choose standing machine, or you can make the patient independent on the floor without fear of falling to prepare the patient for biped gait. And you can choose which is good for your patient. Is the patient doing Buddha sitting? Is the patient doing knee sitting with assistant or by him or herself, or one knee standing? But these are also good postures. If the patient can be independently in these postures, it's much more important than being in the machine. And I would like to remind you that Vasa Concept's goal is also to get patient walking. But we want to see only good quality walking. We don't want to see the bad quality hemi-walking. We want to see only good quality walking. And when you do these postures and all Vasa Concept exercises what your patient need to do, you are able to get into good quality walking. And then next is ankle support. I hope that you have tried how this feels like. Ankle supports are usually keeping the ankle about 90 degrees. And if you have put the ankle support on your own leg and try to walk with it, you will know how much that is affecting the walking. And it's affecting in the whole body, not only the lower limb. But it changes the whole movement in the lower limb. You can try it. How it is different when the ankle cannot move. And does it help to activate the right muscles when you have the ankle support? So, do you choose ankle support or activate your ankle automatically and say bye-bye to spasticity without medicines or surgery? And here is 2 good postures which you can use with your client. And first one is the duck or squat. And you can do those with or without support. And the squat and duck is very good position for reducing spasticity. Very good. And also this bear or camel position with or without support. And you saw from the video that sometimes there's many people assisting at the beginning. But usually it gets easier and easier all the time. But with these 2 postures you can start to activate the ankle. And I hope that you start these postures as soon as possible after the stroke, that a patient cannot develop spasticity on the ankle or contractures, and or on the other parts of the body. But start these as soon as possible. And then we are going into hand orthosis. Usually orthosis keep wrist about 0 degrees. And when the wrist's normal passive movements is getting less and less, you cannot move your wrist when you have the orthosis. So they are getting less and less. And some orthoses are even stimulating to squeeze, like this one in the up here. And you can test that also. But when the patient is having stimulation in the palm of your hand, it will attract you to squeeze. You can try it also. If you take something on your hand, or if you are putting your hand, the orthosis like here on the up here, and try it. And try not to squeeze it. Not at all. No squeezing. How hard it is not to squeeze if something is in your hand. So, if there's orthosis, you need to think closely what kind of like orthosis is good. And are these orthoses helping muscles to activate? So, do you choose hand orthosis, or do you help the patient to exploit gravity on upper limbs? Here are only some postures, but these postures, you increase the patient's passive and active trajectory and active and passive movements. And these are so easy to do at home, and you can always give guidance to the family members that they can also do those at home. So this is about what you are choosing and what the patient is choosing. But you can always do something. And like this exercise, you can also do over the bed. So it's good also for geriatric patients. So today we have a thought about the money, the safety of the brain, the fear of falling, and do we want to choose machine or device or to do exercises with the patients? The last one is that we need to think the whole body. We are our whole body, and the patient is also. And this is how we are usually splitting the persons. When there's problem in cognitive functions, you go to neuropsychologist. When you have problem in your speech, you are going into speech therapy. When you have problems in the upper limb or ADL, you are going to see occupational therapist. And when you have problem in lower limbs and walking, you are going to see physiotherapist. But I would like to ask that why we are splitting the body. What is the science behind that? And is this something that comes from old generations to next generations, and we don't even stop to think why we are doing this? We are just doing this because We have every time done this. And is this something what we want to continue? And there's many reasons why we are our whole body. This is only one, but after you have understood how the fascia thoracolumbalis affects the muscles, you start to think, is it good to split the patient? And here is the information about the article. You can read more from there. But if you think about the fascia needs muscles and muscles needs fascia. And from these boxes, you can see that which muscles are co-working with the fascia thoracolumbalis. And this white area and here is the TLF, fascia thoracolumbalis. And here is the muscles from the upper limb. And then we continue because these are not all the muscles. And here you can see in the yellow boxes or orange boxes are the muscles that are affecting in the upper limb and are co-working with the TLF. And all of these yellow or orange boxes, all of these muscles are co-working with the TLF and also the gluteus maximus. So, the gluteus maximus activity affects arm muscles activity. Fascia needs muscles from down and up that everything works. We need the information to go. And if you are walking without gluteus maximus activation, it is hard to get the upper limb to work. And I have seen this on my patients that when gluteus maximus starts to activate, you are getting functions in the upper arm. So we really are our whole body. And Vasa Concept brings together the whole multi-professional team. It is time to work together with the new knowledge. You need to bring this new knowledge to your workplace. You, OT and PT needs to talk together. If we want that the hand is working, we need to have the gluteus maximus activity. We are our whole body and we need to consider everything. And we need to work together to benefit our patients. And if the old knowledge was the one why we were splitting the body, now it's time for the new knowledge and cooperation. And now I hope that you are thinking that we are our whole body. And with that, you are thinking there's the whole body, there's the brain, and there's the gravity. And then from this yellow picture, you think about how you can expand the boundaries of center of mass. And now think a little bit about the postures that you have seen in the pictures. When you combined all this together, your Vasa Concept learning journey is in a good beginning. And in the last, I would like that we think a little bit about CP children. If they will do Vasa Concept from the day one, their body and their brain will learn everything what they need to learn. And they would not be disabled their whole life. Because if we don't introduce them to things that are not taking them better and better, we always need to remember when we are walking with the patient, we have to use the body, the brain, and gravity. All of these are free tools. And we can use these free tools for taking care of our CP children. And I want that you think about the brain, body, and gravity, and things what you see on the video, and please write those on the chat. Now it's working. I can see also what you're writing there. And now we have a little child here. Check how the neck is doing. How is the postural control? Write something about while the boy is doing these exercises. How the boy is using the brain, body, and gravity. And how good children are learning. And there is no medicines. There is no splints or standing machine. And his ankles and wrists and everything are so good. Yeah, in the beginning, trunk control and neck control was poor. Good, have some improvement. Good that you are seeing this. And these are these free tools. We don't need to save money for the robotic. This is much more cheaper. Next one. Yesterday there were many questions that is Vasa Concept good on chronic situation. Here you can see how patients can benefit even starting a little bit later. So sooner is always better, but later is not too late. Important thing is that we start. And now you can see how the boy is using the better side of her body. The weight is all there and he is trying to move by using the better side of the body. And this is dog to cobra. This is one of Vasa Concept exercises. And this is very good. I think almost all of my Vasa Concept patients are doing dog to cobra. It's so good for the whole body. So the most important thing is that we start. Now it's time for take-home message. First one was learn from history, work today and change future. So think about results and patient's future. Experience with your own body to understand patient body. And that is free tool what we can always use. And it always comes with you. Think behind the action and rethink the goal. Take care of the roots with Vasa Concept and skills and action and gait will emerge automatically. So you do only the exercises, the brain, the body and the gravity. Only Vasa Concept exercises and the skills, action and gait will emerge automatically. Think about results, money and time and energy and loss of human research. And this is at this point, this is even more important than before because of the COVID time. We really need to think how we are using the money, time and energy and human resources. It's so important now. Rethink about devices because you can choose to use brain, body and gravity. There is opportunity and it's up to you. Are you choosing the opportunity? Think about safety of the brain and fear of falling. Do not induce fear. Remember, the fear comes if the patient is too high before he is ready for it. The bed and the floor are good places to do exercises. Because when you are on the ground, you cannot fall on the ground. We are our whole body. Our patients are. Therefore, design postures keeping in mind the whole body. In the videos and today's and yesterday's webinar, you have seen many postures and exercises, and by downloading and reading the ebook, you will learn more and more. And when you are working with the whole body, you are getting results in the whole body, not only on upper or lower limb, the whole body. It's also part of that, how we are using our time. And last, think about patient dreams. This is the reason why we are doing our work. And when we are doing all of this, the dreams are possible. And you can get the take-home message from the checklist if you join our email list. And here was the address for it. Now I would like to say thank you. And if you have some questions after this webinar, or you want to do a thesis or research about Vasa Concept, please contact us. You will find us from social media. And now we have time for some questions. If I haven't answered the questions already, because in the beginning I was answering many questions. But now it's your time. Someone is asking that can we help out autism kids? Well, now we are talking about stroke patients. And I'm ready for the questions. I try to read it also if I see those from the chat. And thank you that you are saying thank you in there.
Yeah, friends, if you are having questions, please write down in the chat box.
Oh, good. Someone was saying that had lots of information and lots of knowledge. Now they are coming so fast.
Shall we start taking?
Yeah, we can.
Does this concept help even autism kids? Yeah, I think you have answered that. Sorry.
Yeah.
How can we go with Vasa concept with a child having a W sitting habit leads to toe walking habitual?
You need to select right one, Vasa concept postures and exercises, what the child is able to do. But when child is doing W sitting, you can always guide the child gently in the Buddha position or in the diamond position if legs are not yet in the Buddha, but almost Buddha position. There's question that which stage of stroke patients can give Vasa concept. There is there is no that in which stage you can do or you cannot do.
Yeah, another question is it helpful for the kids with tiptoe walking?
Vasa is very good if child has tiptoe walking. I have seen amazing results with tiptoe walking when we were in Russia. Very good.
Just a moment. How to initiate the Vasa concept on spastic stroke patients?
Once again, you need to choose exercises what the patient is able to do. If the patient is highly spastic, then you can do exercises over the gym ball and start with that one. You always need to choose what are the right exercises and postures for the patients, and you learn these postures and exercises when you are attending the Vasa Concept workshops, where it's also patients.
Ma'am, there is one question for me regarding the certificate. Shall I answer that?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, regarding the certificate of the Vasa concept, if you people have attended all 4 webinars and have submitted your 3 screenshots of each webinar, today also we have shared in the description box. So you can fill that form and you can submit your presence. If you have done so, then you are eligible for receiving the certificate, and you will receive the certificate by next Sunday, that is 16th of the August. So we will dispatch certificate by that time. Thank you very much. That is the Vasa concept certificate. Oro University program is running. This is the second day of Oro University program, that is FDP program, and that certificate will be issued later on. That we will inform you on 14th of the August at the last day of the program. For that certificate, you need to attend all 7 days. This is the second day, 5 more days to come. Thank you so much. Shall we go with some other questions now?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Hasti is asking that how to convince the patient to use paretic side.
How to convince? If you are leaning the hand, like in the dog posture, which is the crawling posture, I think that you cannot decide are you convinced about the arm or not, because there's no opportunity. You just need to use it.
So many of them are so much happy and thanking you. There are lots of messages of thanking you. It's very helpful. It's very, very nice session. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah. Yeah, Vinod is asking that should we not make patients walk until kneeling and half kneeling balance is achieved?
Why we need to make the patient walk before knee standing or knee walking? And you can go on the kneeling posture from down. You don't need to go kneel from the up. It's much more better for the patient if you go in the duck posture when you are on the ground. So you are sitting on the ground and the therapist is helping you in the duck posture.
Right. How can we get to know all the Vasa concept exercises for various concepts?
You will get to know those when you are when you go to the workshops to learn. You need to learn the hands-on. That is the most important. You need to know how to help the patients in all the exercises, because it needs to be safe. So please go all the workshops where you can go. And if you hear that your patient wants to go, go with the patient. And you also learn when you are in Vasa Concept theory courses, and when you just do the Vasa concept you learn all the time more. Even I have done this 5 years, I still think that I'm learning all the time. Something new. This is concept. This is not a method. This is concept. This is so huge thing.
Very true. Krupa is asking that, Madam, in our college, knee walking and standing on feet is always achieved, but walking is so much difficult in every stroke patient. Will you share 1 or 2 exercise to improve walking?
You have seen, like when I was introducing that, do you use the machine or do you do the exercises? There is good for the walking. And on the videos, you have seen the duck walk and the camel walk and crawling. There's plenty of exercises. You can start with those and then learn more.
Yeah. Noseti is asking, is there any specific sequence of exercises in Vasa concept for specific injuries?
I would say that it always depends about the patients, not about the injury. Every patient is different, even the injury in the brain is the same. It still looks different on different patients.
Ranjit is asking that, does it work for spinal muscular dystrophy in kids?
Atrophy is once again the degenerating disease, and we have the same answer still, that Dr. Vasa recommends you to enjoy life.
True. Jayashri is asking that any guidelines for child having sensory issues like grip is okay but not holding new objects.
When you do the Vasa concept exercises and you are taking care of the root cause, also the sensory issues are getting better because the sensory system starts to work like it should work.
Ma'am, there is a question for Parkinson. I think you had given answer yesterday. Yeah. One question is regarding the Vasa exercise for low back pain. A friend, again, I would like to tell you that this is a neuro rehab concept. So this is applicable for the neuro rehabilitation. Would you like to add something over it?
Lower back pain.
Yeah.
Or you can always do Dr. Cobra.
Okay.
That is good for many back pains, but back is different thing than neuro rehabilitation, so I don't say more about that.
Yeah. Dr. Zahara is asking, is Vasa concept helpful in all kinds of brain injuries? Does it prove really a helpful hand for patients?
Yes. Yes, it really is helpful.
Swati is asking, how many hours the patient needs to do exercises in a day?
I would like to say that the most important thing is that you do the exercises every day. In Finland, patients are exercising from Monday to Friday, and then they are relaxing on the weekend. And the patient's work is to do the exercises. And it depends about the patients and how much you are getting help and assistance, that how many hours are you able to do it. Someone is able to do 1 hour in a day, and someone is able to do 4 to 6 hours a day. So it depends about what is the opportunity.
True. There are a few questions regarding the feedback form. Friends, feedback form, if you cannot find feedback form in the description, you please refresh your YouTube channel, and you will be able to see that in the description, or else after finishing of the program, you can go back and get it from there. Yeah, this is almost similar. How many days we should continue this Vasa concept for a particular patient?
How many days?
In a
I
week,
think that
think, yeah. That is already been answered. Yeah.
maybe you should continue like months or years.
What exercise help for sitting in Vasa concept? I think for the sitting balance they are asking for.
Yeah, and of course, sitting in Hanuman, no, sitting in Buddha position, and you can sit on the Buddha position also over the gimbal. And of course, Dr. Cobra is very good for sitting balance. I think that all the postures are very good for sitting balance because they are good in all kind of like balance.
Pawan is asking that is it helping with seizures, walking, ma'am, child and adult?
Yeah, it is helping if the walking is like scissoring. Yeah, very good. And this was good question. Yeah, it is helping.
Yeah, would you like to elaborate more why there is seizures, walking, why it happens in most of the patients? Would you like to give some light over it?
I don't know. I am the right one to answer that why that happens, but I have noticed that it is getting easier when we are doing the Vasa concept and the patient is learning to control the COM in all the limbs. And when the control is in all the limbs, you are able to walk much more wider.
True. Malik is asking how can we exercise the patient in ICU after TBI, or I say which exercise should we do at that time?
It depends about what has happened and how many tubes are in the person. But at least I have exercised in it over the bed, and you just make sure that all the tubes are on. It is not so. It is not so different than in the other places. And of course, you choose the best exercises for your patients.
I have a question. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication. How you guys manage?
I think that this is meant for the patients. And what I have seen that patients are so keen on the results that they want the results more and more. I think that is how they are managing.
Charu is asking, is this concept useful if a person both lower limbs are paralyzed? Paraplegia.
Paraplegia. Yeah, do Vasa concept. All in spinal cord injury. It's good to do Vasa concept.
Arun is asking, are you not including flexor pattern by giving exercise in quadruped?
Are you not inducing? I don't know how to answer to that, but when I'm doing my work as a therapist, I don't need to induce different things. It is enough that I do Vasa concept and I give the results what the patient is hoping for.
May I add something over it, ma'am?
Yeah, please add.
Yeah, Arun, from what I have understood so far about the Vasa concept is it is not looking towards flexion or extension component. It is entirely a different kind of concept, which is more focusing on the center of mass. and the gravity. So the entire approach is different. So they are not taking care of the flexion approach or extension approach like that. Is it okay, ma'am?
Yeah, it was very good answer.
Nega is asking, the hand orthosis showed in the session, will it be stimulating the palmar reflex, favoring the flexion energy?
Every time when something is on your hand, you want to grab on it.
Very true.
So always think, do you want to put something on the hand which is going spastic? Because if it's going on the spastic way and you still put something in there, it's going more and more spastic every time.
Ma'am, many times patient comes with chronic pain in paretic site, shoulder. So how to manage such cases?
Yeah, this is what we do in Finland, a lot of these cases. And yeah, we are doing Vasa concept with these patients. And for me, it's important that the patient is trusting me, that I don't let the patient feel too much pain. But we start to do Vasa concept exercises, and the pain is getting easier and easier. And usually the pain goes away. At least my cases, the pain goes away from the paretic side shoulder.
Yeah.
But with the pain, you need to talk with the patient that they are ready and it's good amount, because we need to get the muscles activating that the pain can go away.
Malik is asking how cognition and speech can improve through Vasa concept.
I think that we talked about this yesterday, and speech and cognition can proved by doing Vasa concept, and the reason was that you are taking care of the root cause, and brains are getting better, and of course, all the automatic things are getting better by doing Vasa concept.
Yeah. When there is a question regarding this, shall I play the video which we were talking about yesterday? On
Yeah,
the same.
please show the video.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, this child's mother has sent an audio message also. Can I play that audio message, ma'am?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just a minute. No, I'll play after some time. It will take some time to play that. Shall we take few more questions in between?
Yeah, we can take.
Yeah. Yeah, Dr. Sandeep is asking that does Vasa help in improvement of the memory loss in stroke cases?
At least my patient's memory has improved. So I would say that yes, it helps, like in all kind of like cognition skills.
Hmm. For 3-year kid, reflexes are there. We are giving Livera Lenzol from years. Is it allowed in Vasa concept?
Sorry, but I don't know what is Levera and Lansol. Is it medicine or?
Yeah, I think these are the medicines they are telling about.
Okay. I'm not going to say anything about medicines because I don't know what kind of like medicine that is.
Hari Prakash is asking, normally the stroke patient has subluxated shoulder. Is it affects the exercise or the concept improves the condition? If it increases, what is about the muscle power? I think you answered it yesterday, but if you want to say something more.
And I think that I answer it. This is so similar than the shoulder pain because usually the shoulder is subluxated when there is the shoulder pain. And like Dr. Cobra, very good exercise for shoulder pain.
Milind is asking about exercise variety in lumbar area and duration.
Because it doesn't go like that. We are thinking only about one area or duration. You are thinking about the whole body and you are thinking about the brain.
Tosha is asking that how you treated any quadriplegic patients and how was the recovery?
Is this from the brain injury region or spinal cord injury regions? I have like the user is quadriplegic patient because of brain injury, and you can see from the video the results. From spinal cord quadriplegic patients, I have some. I have some who are doing the Vasa concept, but they are not doing Vasa concept so intensively that I could see the results. But Dr. Vasa has treated, and I recommend.
Yeah. Shall we play that audio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
गुड इवनिंग एवरीबॉडी। मैं स्वाति सलगर सोलापुर से हूँ। मेरा लड़का जो है ओम सलगर वो 8 years old है। और वो डॉक्टर राजुल वासा का फर्स्ट ऑटिस्टिक पेशेंट है जो कि अभी बहुत प्रोग्रेस में है। और उसके बारे में तो मैं आपको स्टार्टिंग में कुछ बताना चाहती हूँ उसके बर्थ से। तो ओम जब 8 मंथ तक तो बहुत अच्छा था, उसको कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं था। जब 8 मंथ का था वो, तो 8वें मंथ में उसको अचानक से झटके आने लगे। हमको तो पता भी नहीं चला था कि उसको झटके आने लगे, क्योंकि जब उसको झटके आने लगे थे तो वैसे 1 सेकंड में सर अपनी जमीन पर पटकाता था और फिर ऊपर आता था और नॉर्मल होता था। तो ऐसे बार बार उसका सिर पटकने से उसके ऐसे फोरहेड पे ऐसा पूरा सूजन आई थी। तो हमें लगा कि ये कुछ अलग हो रहा है, तो तभी हमने डॉक्टर को कंसल्ट किया। उसमें पेडिट्रिक डॉक्टर ने तो बोला कि मैं इसमें कुछ नहीं कर सकता हूँ, आपको तो न्यूरोलॉजिस्ट के पास जाना है। तो हम न्यूरोलॉजिस्ट के पास गए और न्यूरोलॉजिस्ट ने हमको बताया, ईईजी वगैरह उसका किया, बहुत सारे चेकअप उसके किए, एमआरआई वगैरह सब। तो एमआरआई तो निगेटिव आया, लेकिन जो ईईजी रिपोर्ट था वो डॉक्टर देख के बोले कि ये तो बहुत वर्स्ट केस है और इसमें बहुत क्रिटिकल है ये, क्योंकि नॉर्मल बच्चे को तो ऐसे एक टाइम में झटका आता है 1-2 बार दिन में और फिर वो जट से रिकवर भी हो जाता है, लेकिन आपके बच्चे में के ब्रेन में कंटिन्यूअस उसको सीजर्स आते हैं और इसलिए वो उसको ऐसा हो रहा है। और उन्होंने फिर कुछ गोलियां दवाइयां सब दी और वो चालू करने के लिए बोला। सुबह 4-5 गोलियां वॉल्परिन जैसी औषधि थी, दोपहर शाम को ऐसे औषधि दी और हमने वो चालू भी किया इमीडिएटली। और उसके बाद तो बच्चा अभी 8 मंथ से तो 2 साल तक आया, 2.5 साल हो गए, लेकिन कुछ इम्प्रूवमेंट नहीं दिखी। फिर उन्होंने बीच में तो उसके जो झटके वो बहुत सारे बढ़ गए, तभी उन्होंने ATCH नाम
Okay, after that audio, I cannot say anything because it was on
जब
Indian language.
तो
I
वहाँ
hope
पे
that someone else is saying.
काम किया और उन्होंने कुछ दवाएं कम करके
Oh,
थोड़ी हल्की दवाएं चालू की, लेकिन वो भी बोले कि इसका कुछ नहीं हो सकता। और तभी उन्होंने बताया कि ये ऑटिस्टिक है और ADHD में आएगा, क्योंकि उस टाइम पे जब दवाइयां कम की और दूसरी दवाइयां चालू की तो उसका थोड़ा सा ये चलना फिरना ऐसा चालू हो गया था, लेकिन बहुत ही हैपरली वो एक्ट होता था। मतलब एक जगह रुकना नहीं और किसी बात के ऊपर फोकस करना नहीं, आई कांटेक्ट तो जीरो था, जीरो सिटिंग टॉलरेंस था, स्पीच तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं थी उसको। और ऐसे जब भी हम बोलते थे तो उसके ऊपर वो कुछ फोकस नहीं करता था, मतलब उसका उसका ही अकेले का चलता रहता था और कुछ बच्चों में नहीं जाता था खेलने को वगैरह, तो जाता ही नहीं था और बैठता भी नहीं था, मिक्स भी नहीं होता था। अगर कोई घर में भी आए तो उनके साथ कोई ये लगाव नहीं रखता था, खुद ही रहना और खुद ही ऐसे अलग अलग एक्टिविटी करना, मल्टी टास्किंग एक्टिविटी वो करता था जिसमें कुछ भी मीनिंग नहीं रहता था और बहुत ही हाइपर एक्टिव था वो। जैसे कि उसको घर का आदमी और बाहर का ये तो भी पता नहीं चलता था उसको कि ये अपना है ये बाहर का है, और हमको भी वो पहचानता नहीं था। बस उसको जब खाने को वगैरह चाहिए था तो वो आता था, और जब कोई बोले कि वो मेरे साथ चल तो वो कोई भी ऐसे बिना पहचान वाले आदमी के साथ भी वो चला जाता था। और उसको तो रिटर्न आना भी नहीं पता होता था कि कहाँ पे हमारा घर है और हम कहाँ से निकले और कहाँ से रिटर्न आना है। तो ऐसे 5-6 बार तो वो गुम भी हो गया था हमारे सोसाइटी में, तो हमें बहुत ढूंढ ढूंढ के उसको लाना पड़ा। और उस टाइम पे एक ऐसा भी ये हो गया कि उसको रिस्क का तो कुछ पता ही नहीं चलता था। अगर मैं गैस को हाथ लगाऊं तो ये मेरे को जलन होगी, मैं ऊपर चढ़ूं और गिरने की वजह हो तो मैं गिरूंगा तो मेरे को लगेगा, और उसकी वजह से एक बार तो वो 2nd फ्लोर से नीचे गिर भी गया। बट लकीली उसको उसमें कुछ ज्यादा मेजर इंजरी नहीं आई, लेकिन तभी तो हमको टेंशन हुआ। उसको बताने को भी नहीं आता था कि मेरे को ये हो रहा है वो हो रहा है वगैरह कुछ ऐसा। उसको बोलने का तो स्पीच जीरो था, इसलिए हमको तो पता ही नहीं चलता था कि इसका क्या चल रहा है। तो मैं तो बहुत टेंशन में थी। फिर उसी दौरान मैंने उसको 5 साल की एज में, 4.5 से 5 साल की एज में उसको स्पेशल स्कूल में एडमिशन ली। वहाँ पे बहुत सारे ऐसे बच्चे थे जिसको 5-6 लोग संभालते थे, और उसी दरमियान हम पूना में भी जाते थे उसको थेरेपी देने के लिए, ऑक्यूपेशनल थेरेपी, स्पीच थेरेपी।
Yeah, ma'am. I think it's quite long audio. Friends, we will circulate this audio in the WhatsApp group, so you can listen the entire audio. I think still it is 9 minutes audio is left, so it's better we take questions, and we will share the audio in the WhatsApp group. Yeah, it was in our Hindi language, that is our national language, and she was speaking about her child in the Hindi language. Yeah, this is another question. If sitting Z not there, Vasa concept allow us to make CP child stand? It means if sitting is not achieved, then whether, yeah.
Yeah. Why you are rushing to stand if you are not able to sit in a correct way? Because the point is that the child is standing when he or she stands on his own. We are not teaching to stand or walk. They are automatic movements.
Arun is telling that how can you say these are all Vasa concept when it is similar to all other exercise? Arun, I would like to tell you what exactly you do in PNF. How you can say it is PNF? Means the exercises are exercises. You are using your entire body for exercises. So you cannot say this is not a rocket science. So I don't think how you can ask such question.
Yeah, and Vasa concept is a concept. You need to understand the whole concept that you can do this.
A similar question about the sitting and standing one.
Yeah.
This is another question from Mohammed. If there is severe degree of brain damage where all other therapies fail to show any improvement, will Vasa concept be a ray of hope?
I would say so. Just please try to do Vasa concept, and when you are doing the Vasa concept, please only do the Vasa concept. If you mix different concept and methods, you may not have the results.
Does Vasa concept varies if patient already taken Botox treatment? How long should we wait after Botox treatment for Vasa concept?
Okay. Botox is so common in Finland that if a patient have had Botox, we can do exercises like next day. I haven't seen any problems with it, but I don't recommend the Botox if we can do exercises. Because when you are using the Botox, you are paralyzing the muscle. And when the muscle is paralyzed, you cannot get the activation in that muscle. So it's, once again, you need to choose. Are you using the Botox or some other medicines, or are you doing the exercise?
One question is for Parkinson. I think you addressed that question yesterday.
Yeah. And today also.
Yeah, another question is on eye squint, which also you attended yesterday.
So please watch the webinar from yesterday.
Yeah. I think we are done with most of the questions. I cannot find any new question now. Let me see the fresh one. Abhishek is asking, is this not similar to sensory integration as they also emphasize on proprioception?
And this is not similar with sensory integration. When you get to learn more about Vasa concept and theory behind it, you will understand it is much more. And Vasa concept is much more than proprioception.
Yeah, I think we are done with all.
Yeah. So thank you for the questions and thank you for all participants.
Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you, Mary. These 2 days were extraordinary and we learned a lot. You have cleared so many doubts in our mind regarding the neuro rehabilitation, and you have given a new ray of hope to us. You have made our mind, you have triggered our mind actually to think twice before treating our neuro patients the way we were treating previously. So that is phenomenal, and we salute for that. And I wish that because of this 4 days of webinar, the entire neuro rehab in our country and the people who are attending from other countries like Bangladesh, Pakistan, Dubai, means Gulf countries, and USA, Singapore, everywhere this concept will spread well, and people will learn a lot. And I would like to let you know that yesterday's video has crossed more than 2.7K views. So it's becoming viral now. Thank you so much for a wonderful knowledge sharing. We really appreciate the way you have given all the answers and the way you have taught. And thanks to the viewers also for participating throughout. And extremely sorry for late sharing of the feedback form. But we are extremely sorry. There was a technical glitch. But now it is there in the box also, and in the scroll also. So please take a note of it and please submit the form. Yeah, Janvi, please.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Mary. On behalf of our university and Spinex Global, I would like to thank you for a wonderful session. And I'm sure that Dr. Mary's finding and opinions will encourage all the participants to explore more about the Vasa concept. I would like to thank my co-host, Dr. Neeraj, for his unconditional support. Finally, the wonderful participants who have turned up in such a great number. Tomorrow, Dr. Jatin Maheshwari will be with us and he'll be talking about applied exercise physiology during exercise in hot environment, exercise in cold environment, and exercise in high altitude acclimatation. So my request to all the participants of the FDP that tomorrow again we will start FDP program at 7 p.m. sharp. So if you have any query regarding the same, you can contact me and Neeraj sir. And again, sorry for the feedback link. It was a really technical problem. Again, Dr. Mary, thank you for your time and sharing wonderful knowledge with us. Now, I am also feeling more conscious about the Vasa concept. Now, I would like to read more about the Vasa concept. So, thank you to share a wonderful insight about it. Thank you, Dr. Neeraj.
Yeah, and
Good night,
and thank you, Dr. Vasa.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Vasa, Dr.
Yeah.
Vivek sir, and the entire RVF team for helping us. Thank you, Janvi, and the entire Oro University team to trust on our abilities to organize such wonderful programs. And friends, tomorrow tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we are having a webinar on sports rehabilitation. This is going to be a wonderful webinar. Both the webinars will be fantastic learning process for all of you. So please join and ask your friends also to join for tomorrow and day after tomorrow also. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Mari. Thank you, Janvi. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.